Hey there duelists, it's Low Tier Hero from Team Draw Phase, and today we've got an action-packed guide on effective ways to counter some formidable cards in Master Duel. We'll be zeroing in on the Ishizu cards, Keldo the Sacred Protector, yugioh the Ancient Sentinel, Mudora the Sword Oracle, and Kelbik the Ancient Vanguard, offering you some strategic cards to turn the tide in your favor. Kicking off with Keldo the Sacred Protector, it can be quite the challenge to overcome. However, we've got a few stellar counters up our sleeves. Dimensional Shifter is a fantastic choice as it banishes any card that would head to the graveyard. If played before Keldo's effect, it can be a game changer. Macrocosmos and Dimensional Fissure are also strong contenders, disrupting Keldo's graveyard effects by banishing the cards. Next in line is yugioh the Ancient Sentinel. With its power to special summon level 4 Earth Fairy monsters from the graveyard, it's crucial to shut it down. Different Dimension Ground works wonders as it stops any monster from landing in the graveyard. DD Crow also comes in handy, banishing cards from your opponent's graveyard and hindering their graveyard effects. On to Mudora the Sword Oracle, which can prove tough to handle if your opponent places a Gravekeeper's Trap on the field. Dimensional Shifter and Different Dimension Ground, both adept at preventing cards from reaching the graveyard, can make it challenging for your opponent to activate Mudora's effect. Macrocosmos and Dimensional Fissure with similar abilities are fantastic options to counter Mudora. Last but not least, we have Kelbik the Ancient Vanguard. This card allows your opponent to target and return one of your special summon monsters to your hand. To counter Kelbik, Dimensional Fissure and Different Dimension Ground are your go-to choices as they both prevent monsters from entering the graveyard. So you see the reoccurring theme here. You've got to completely shut off the graveyard and prevent these cards from going off in an effort to stop their escalation and their strategy. As special mentions, Dark Ruler No More and Super Polymerization are invaluable when tier elements make their way into Master Duel and you're playing against Ishizu tier elements. Dark Ruler No More negates the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent controls, with Super Poly allows you to fuse monsters from either field into a formidable fusion monster. Our final mention is Soul Drain. Although powerful, be cautious with its continuous effect as it can be detrimental to your strategy. So now if you don't play in the graveyard, let's take Exo Sisters for instance, you can main deck Soul Drain, Defissure, Macrocosmos, Dimension Shifter. All these cards are going to be so good for your strategy, but you've got to be able to play a deck that doesn't revolve around the graveyard. Now, if you're playing branded, you may not want to run Soul Drain because Soul Drain is just going to eat up all of your effects when they go to the graveyard. So just err on the side of caution when you're running a card as strong as Soul Drain. The essence of this counter list is to demonstrate how Ishizu cards crumble against banishing and graveyard control cards. These choices precisely target their weaknesses, stifling their strategy and swiftly ending games by dominating their graveyard. You'll also be well prepared to tackle tier elements when they join Master Duel as they share the same vulnerabilities, and once tier elements come into the foray, we will be creating a more in-depth approach on a counter guide that will have Ishizu and tier elements in the fray. As of right now, we're only looking at Chaos Lightsworn Ishizu and Evoked Shadol Ishizus. And Naturia Ishizu too, I believe I've been seeing. So just keep in mind that right now the Ishizu deck is not at an all-time power, but it will be once tier elements get introduced. So just be cautious and be prepared from when this deck comes in, because if you played in the TCG, you'll know that we might be going into a tier 0 format. And that's a wrap, folks. I hope these insights help you outmaneuver these tricky cards and emerge victorious in your next duel. Stay tuned to Draw Phase for more tips and tactics, and until next time, happy dueling, my friends.